is at Texas Tech. Opening tip is won by LSU. We are underway here in Baton Rouge.
North Texas, one of the better defensive teams in the country.
Baker inside, a wheel and deal, misfires. And the first rebound into the hands of Sissoko, a 6'9" forward out of Mali. What do you want to see offensively out of North Texas? Certainly a difference in pace.
There's no question in tempo. These two teams are going to go at a tug of war.
Alley-oop pass that is offered up by Hannibal, who has taken over the point guard job about midway through the season. That has been the difference for LSU.
One of the things that this North Texas team will do as you take a look at their starting lineup is that they will utilize clock. They are not in a hurry offensively.
Scott long range, misfires on a three. North Texas, the top shooting team from downtown in the American all year at 38% as Sissoko bumps Hannibal to the ground.
Yeah, Sissoko just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's almost like, Mike, we've seen this LSU team all year. They've played from the point guard perspective 3 seasons in one because they played without Jalen Cook. Then they played with Jalen Cook, and now they're finishing the last 10, 12 games without Cook again.
And really playing their best basketball, quite frankly, without him. It's been Hannibal who's been the difference maker. Did not have a great game in the opening round loss in the SEC tournament. Only had 1 assist before that, averaging 5 dimes a game over a stretch of a half dozen ball games. Jordan Wright is their Swiss Army knife, number 6 in white. He does a little bit of everything, the former Vanderbilt Commodore. Here's Hannibal, slicing, dicing, has the shot blocked, gets it back, under 10 on the shot clock for Tyrell Ward. Now 5 to shoot for Fountain. And a turnover, sloppy possession for LSU, and then a steal by Fountain, throws it right back to Sissoko, a game of hot potato here in Baton Rouge. Sissoko. Back up top into the hands of Edwards. Edwards a drive and dish inside. In between a double team, Sissoko finds the front end of the rim, and here comes LSU. A 2-0 game here in the early going.
Defensive patience will be important and vital for LSU today.
Great ball movement. Wright passed up the 3. Here's Baker. Baker banging inside. And no whistle on a foul.
Wow.
Instead, just knocked out of bounds. Looked like a lot of contact from here, Coach.
I thought Sissoko got away with a foul here. Baker goes over his left shoulder. Yeah, that's a foul. Sissoko gets away with one there.
Michael Wallace, Robert Felder, Chase Shaw, our officiating crew here tonight.
Baker was really good when these two teams met in November. He went for 16 and 6. You cannot leave Tyrell Ward open.
Now that is his strength, the three-point shot. Over 40% on the year and one of the top shooters this year for LSU. Three ball from the corner for North Texas, knocked down by Jason Edwards, and we'll see if that will get him going. Their leading scorer, averaging over 19 points a game.
That's a good sign for North Texas because Edwards has made 3 or more threes this time, 14 different games.
Baker finding Fountain with 8 on the shot clock. Fountain with a force. And a great defensive stop there by North Texas. The #1 defense in the American, and for the last 3 years, one of the top defensive teams in all of college basketball.
Well, this is a great matchup, isn't it?
That's a foul on Hannibal, and 3 upcoming for Jason Edwards.
And when we talked to Matt McMahon today, we talked about who's going to get the Edwards assignment. It's a quick step back that he can utilize at different times. There's the step back, and that's an easy call. That's a foul on Hannibal. But that matchup is that's kind of the game within the game. Can Hannibal guard Edwards and stay out of foul trouble?
Can anybody guard Jason Edwards has been the question this year. You see the numbers on Edwards. He's out of Atlanta originally. Went to Dodge City Community College. He was a bucket getter there. The only knock on Edwards, he's a 6'2" guard, Mark.
Yeah.
And very often those guys get passed over because they don't fit a certain mold. But bottom line is, he can score against any guard.
Yeah, I think he's proven that this year. He's the number 3 scorer in the American, behind David Jones of Memphis, P.J. Haggerty, the great redshirt freshman from Tulsa. So, yeah, he's got great range. He's got great quickness. He's a handful.
25 games. He reached double digits, and he's off to a good start in this one. 5 early points for Edwards. And a tie ball game as we approach the 16-minute mark. Hannibal gets a screen from Baker. Weaving inside, takes it strong, gets his own rebound and a stick back. He is one of the strongest point guards in the country.
Yeah, it's like a fullback coming downhill at you in a hoops game. A lot of dribbling, not going anywhere.
C.J. Nolan, the former Oklahoma Sooner. In a break zone here in Baton Rouge. Edwards almost turned it over. Nice save that time by Aaron Scott. Back into the hands of Edwards. Now Scott passed up a 3, takes it strong and thunders it home. Wow. Aaron Scott, the 6'7" senior out of Spring, Texas.
Where was the weak side defense? No help. Scott takes advantage.
This is a veteran North Texas squad. If it hadn't been for all the injuries, the season might have looked a lot different for the Mean Green. Strong take on the reverse. It's Jordan Wright finding some daylight.
He is so strong with his upper body. He can get between defenders, slice between. That's a bad reach.
And a timeout on the floor with 14:51 to go, and an effort for the NIT to experiment with some new rules. And here's what we have for the changes throughout this NIT tournament. Again, these are experimental rules. The floater break will now be eliminated in the second half. You've got 17, 14, 11, 8, and 4-minute timeouts. And of course, the most prominent thing that you see, we're using an NBA/FIBA lane, the widened lane, which I think going from 12 to 16, Mark, is actually a good thing.
I think, again, it's another move, I believe, to create more offense, and I'm all for it. Widen the lane means more guys have the ability to drive.
If you think about it, 2015, they tried the restricted arc and they tried the 30-second shot clock. They're still in the game today as Jordan Wright gets his first bucket.
Yeah, Wright has had a very uneven season shooting the basketball, just 32% from deep, but he shot that with confidence.
Edwards bottled up, finds Scott for an open look. Back iron, and Wright skies for the rebound. Jordan Wright, a stat sheet stuffer. He'll score, he'll rebound, he'll drop dimes, and plays good defense. And almost had another bucket there on the leaner.
This North Texas team shoots 22 threes a game. So they don't mind getting it up from deep.
Strong take, and a nice shot that time by C.J. Nolan, a former ESPN Top 100 recruit, went to Oklahoma before transferring to Denton, Texas. Hunter Dean of the basketball game for LSU. He's got the ball up top. He's their Energizer bunny off the bench. Gets it on the baseline.
Oh, look at that poor spacing.
Dean hanging, firing, tapping, and finally reeled in by Robert Allen, the former Ole Miss Rebel.
If you're going to play a team as disciplined as North Texas on the defensive end, you've really got to have great spacing. Too many guys in a small area for LSU right now.
Nice drive and dish leads to an easy basket for Robert Allen. I mentioned Allen, the former Ole Miss Rebel. He is playing in his 167th game. That's the second most of any player in Division I basketball. Driving kick, sets up an open three in the corner, and Jalen Reed splashes it home.
These two teams are having a little role reversal right now. LSU scoring at the arc. North Texas is scoring down in the paint. When these two teams met in November, LSU was plus 26 in points in the paint, and North Texas was plus 24 in three-point differential and lost.
And lost the game, which is hard to do. LSU 3 for 3 from behind the arc as we approach the 12-minute mark. Edwards.
See how they space the floor.
Had it knocked away from behind by Dean. Give Hunter Dean the steal. Here's Wright, spot and fire off the iron.
What did Coach McMahon tell us today about North Texas? That they average over 20 seconds a possession in the half court.
At 20 and a half, which is the third, if you want to call it slowest or most deliberate team in all of college basketball. They will make you play defense for a long, long time. Everything but the bucket for Hannibal. He got down in close but could not finish. Bugs passed up the three, step back, and the mid-range pops out.
That's a rare two-point attempt by Bugs. Usually 88% of his shots are from deep.
And he hits 47% of them. Out of bounds. It will remain LSU basketball when we come back. The Tigers leading it by 4 over the defending NIT champions. Commodore, he transfers to LSU, and what a great addition. This is his home state. He grew up in Louisiana, so he was more than welcome back. And what an addition he has been for Matt McMahon and company as they continue this turnaround. +7 in the victory column this season for LSU. That's the number 2 improvement of any Power 6 school this year. Dean inside. One thing about Hunter Dean, the bearded wonder, has got some hops. We've seen it on display throughout the year.
How did that pass get through all the traffic? Now in North Texas, as we talked about the tempo earlier, in North Texas's first 14 possessions, 3 different times the clock's gone under 10. They've played a little bit faster than they normally do so far.
LSU, as Matt McMahon told us, wants to speed them up, not let them make this a half-court type of game. They don't want a rock fight. They don't want a tractor pull. They want to have a little bit of pace and rhythm.
Much better spacing by LSU. Spreading the defense, the tight man-to-man that the Mean Green like to play.
Shot clock under 5. Here comes Reed from 17. Great defense again by North Texas.
I thought he got hit on the arm. You got to protect the shooters. Come on, fellas.
C.J. Nolan up top to Bugs, the three-point demon. Drive and kick, sets up an open 3, and that one is rattled home. That is Reuben Jones, and it's been a long season for Reuben Jones. He missed 11 games with a hamstring injury. They were not the same team without him. They are so happy to have their floor general back. Transition opportunity. If the Mean Green look up, they had Rondell Walker streaking wide open.
Another note I have on Jones, he's a 4-year guy. Don't you feel good about broadcasting a game where a guy played his entire career at one spot and all of his numbers are career best?
That's right. C.J. Nolan, not a 4-year guy, again started at Oklahoma. He's from Waxahachie, Texas. And he buries the triple to tie it up at 17.
And Nolan's on a little bit of a heater from deep because he went 6 or 7 in the 2 games in the American tournament.
3 ball on the other end. A beautiful response by Mwani Wilkinson, likely playing his final game in an LSU uniform.
And he has now made a 3 in 6 straight games. And Wilkinson, much like Bugs, almost a 3-point specialist.
Well, back and forth we go. Nearly 12 minutes into the action, a 3-point lead for LSU. Sissoko, bottled up in the corner. Nolan with 5 to shoot. Now it's Bugs cut off at the baseline. Gonna have to fire here at the buzzer, and sinking it is Nolan.
That's what we talk about. That's a typical well-run possession by the Mean Green.
Wear down that clock and then hit a late clock shot. That's the 4-3 for North Texas. The North Texas team had won this event a year ago. And had it not been for the injuries, they would have been certainly much more of a force in the American. Wilkinson all the way. Follow-up no good. Boy, a lot of contact and no whistle in sight.
We are letting them play.
We are beyond letting them play. No harm, no foul. Okay, well, if you hit a guy in the face, that's definitely a foul, and that'll be 3 shots. And Matt McMahon is livid, and can't say I blame him. There was % free throw shooter. I mentioned the leadership that he provides, a senior point guard, the winningest player in program history. They have won 92 games with Reuben Jones in the lineup. And again, when he missed those 11 games with a hamstring injury, this North Texas team, which has been beleaguered by injuries all year long, was just not the same. They finished 10-8 in a quality league like the American Conference, but certainly could have been much better if they were healthy.
Well, and think about this as you take a look at the total number of games missed this season. But when you take out Jones and Nolan, they both missed 5 games. That's point guard 1 and point guard 1A.
Right.
There is no point guard 3. They played 5 games without a point guard, and they're finally healthy.
That worked out well. You get some points at the line, then you get a 3 from Reuben Jones, and North Texas has its largest lead, a 14-3 run.
One of the strangest 5-point plays you will ever see.
Baker trying to carve out space down low, and the whistle will go against Robert Allen. Now, I wonder here, Mark, both coaches have been upset with the lack of whistles.
Right.
If we start seeing more here.
Well, that's a good point, because there is an overcorrection coming.
Yes. You can hear one of the fans behind us yell makeup call. Game has been awfully physical in the early going. Hannibal whips it over to right. 3 ball from the wing. Back iron and an offensive rebound for Fountain.
Long shots, long rebounds. Guards have to get involved.
Right. Blocked. Great defense that time by Robert Allen.
I don't think that's the first time Robert Allen has blocked a Jordan Wright shot.
That's right.
They just were at 2 different schools.
Yes, that would have been Ole Miss Vanderbilt
Yes.
3-4 years ago. Today it's LSU at North Texas. Bad pass, cross court, right into the hands of Wilkinson. Finds right for the easy deuce.
And that's what you don't want if you're Ross Hodge in terms of pick sixes. LSU's really struggling to score right now. And that turnover leads to easy points. And in a game like this, easy points might be hard to find.
Both these teams at times have been plagued by the turnover bug, something to keep an eye on as Scott rattles home a 3. That is a half dozen triples already for North Texas.
Well, remember, this is a team that makes more than 8 a game over the course of the season. And that 38%, that's the league best in the American.
And they've made 5 straight now. Numbers on a turnover, 3 on 2. All the way right down Broadway is Reuben Jones, and a timeout called by LSU. A 13-2 run
On the rest of the defense, and Jones was Johnny on the spot.
LSU led this game 17-11. Now a 19-5 North Texas run. Remember, this is a North Texas program that just a couple of years ago went into the NCAA tournament and upset Purdue as a 13 seed. Since then, they've made it to 3 consecutive NIT tournaments. Last year, of course, they won the entire NIT event. Hannibal under 5 on the shot clock. A little too fancy, almost a turnover. Gets it back and gets an and one. Just how they drew it up, Coach.
That's the old throw it around, fumble it around, find the ball off a scrum, score play. Nothing was pretty there. Take another look. That pass by Hannibal, way too hot. The scrum, the pickup by Hannibal, and he absorbs contact like few guards in the country.
Now, you and I were here not long ago in the regular season finale when Hannibal had his coming out party of sorts, a career high 24 and a victory against Mizzou. I talked about the fact that he's had a learn how to play the point guard position. And every now and then you'll see a little too much hot sauce on some of those passes. But for the most part, he has adjusted well. He has been as pivotal as anybody for this LSU turnaround.
And LSU going down the floor with a little 1-2-2. North Texas had done that after their last score.
Reuben Jones, the steady point guard, knows how to break it.
Well, that's an excellent job of breaking that pressure. Keep the ball off the deck.
Block. Great block that time by Jalen Reed.
So, Mike, let me ask you this question. Take another look first, though, at Reed blocking the shot, the step through by Sissoko. Reed with rim protection. We've seen so few 3-second calls this year, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Do you think with the larger, wider lane that we'll get any 3-second calls?
That's a great point. That's something to look out for. Yeah, if you bought stock in 3-second violations, you didn't make much money this year. Edwards probing the baseline. He's now got 7. Here's Hannibal banging bodies, throws up the floater.
You mean bodies are banging off
Yes.
Hannibal is what you were trying
That's
to
exactly
poetically wax,
yes.
correct?
Guards don't have much of a chance in a collision with Trey Hannibal, who's built like an outside linebacker.
Nice speed.
Scott from downtown. Finally a miss for North Texas, but there's Sissoko with the offensive rebound. Inside Scott. Kick out pass. Edwards. And finally corralled by Hannibal. 5-point game, LSU basketball. Ward. He coughs it up. Another turnover on LSU. 3-on-2. And a dipsy-do missed. A shot from the back by Aaron Scott. Oh, my goodness. How in the world?
How did that go in?
No idea. We'll label that a SportsCenter Top 10 nominee. Up and under move right. Misfires, too strong off the glass. North Texas normally methodical, getting some points in transition. They'll be on the attack here. Strong take with the left hand by Reuben Jones.
Right now, LSU has no rim protection. They have nothing going defensively in transition D. North Texas, they're taking advantage of all that.
Largest lead with a visiting Mean Green from Denton, Texas.
See, everybody wants to catch and dribble. Catch and evaluate.
Is this not the time to get Jordan Wright the basketball as Reed gets it returned to sender? I mean, why would you not have number 6 touch the ball?
Needs more touches, but again, watch out. This is wide open.
Another offensive rebound. That's what Sissoko does. Scramble. Scrum. Won by North Texas. And the stick back is up and in for Aaron Scott. And another timeout for LSU. 38-27. The largest lead of the game for the Mean Green.
Simply put, the visitors
on Staley and another SEC team, South Carolina, the prohibited favorite. They are undefeated for the season.
And LSU plays a bid stealer on the women's side in Rice, who won the American tournament as a 10 seed.
How about that? Of course, the American is where North Texas resides, and the Mean Green in the midst of a major run, a 27-10 run to push the lead to 11. What does LSU need to do differently, Mark?
I think they've got to attack earlier. I mean, it looks to me like the half-court game right now is being won by the North Texas defense.
Sloppy turnover on Hannibal there. Again, when LSU is wrong, they turn it over way too much. When they're right, they limit the turnovers. Nice rejection, another block for Jalen Reed.
Look early, look opposite. See, when you slow down on the bounce, then you allow the Mean Green defense to settle in. They are so good in gap coverage.
Mike Williams, the freshman, he turns it over. Gets it back inside Dean. Takes it right in on Sissoko and draws a whistle. 2 free throws upcoming for LSU and some sarcastic cheers from this LSU crowd waiting for a few more whistles. That's only the 4th team foul on North Texas. We've only had 3 on LSU.
And LSU was very fortunate in that possession because that should have been a turnover as well. Mike, Hunter Dean in his last 4 games has become, as you take a look at Ross Hodge and the staff at North Texas, who happened to be staying in our hotel tonight, or last night and tonight. Hunter Dean in his last 4 games has become more than just a backup big because he's averaging 8 and 4.5 rebounds a game. So he's given them a little something extra down the stretch here.
He's one of the most productive players that averages less than 5 points a game in the country, I believe. By the way, I think this comes from the entire North Texas program. They want to thank you for keeping the noise level down last night. We know you love to blast your jazz music, sometimes causing some issues with fellow patrons at the hotel.
Earth, wind, and fire only in my room.
9-point ball game with a minute to go.
Yeah, LSU just so soft defensively.
We mentioned both these teams not lacking motivation, not lacking focus, but so far North Texas has clearly been the better team in this first half. Tough shot. That one pops out, and there's Dean, and he has it stripped away. Quick hands by Edwards. He fires up a brick.
I think that got tipped by Dean.
Hannibal, shake and bake, strong take, rejected, but a foul, and that'll go against Reuben Jones.
But that's the kind of approach I'm talking about from LSU's perspective. If you get a rebound, look early offensively. Here's Hannibal coming downhill at you, and there's no question there's a foul in there somewhere.
Hannibal, a fifth-year senior, originally out of Elliott, South Carolina, started his career with the Gamecocks when Frank Martin was the coach. Then played under Matt McMahon at Murray State before he followed Coach McMahon here to Baton Rouge. Playing mean tonight, yes, the mean green. Hot from downtown, winning the battle of the glass. And how about the second chance points by the smaller team?
I think right now Ross Hodge has to be thrilled with the way his team is playing.
Hodge is a former baller himself. He played at Texas A&M Commerce, 10-8 in the American.
Here's the 1-2-2 again by LSU. Look for a trap around midcourt.
Good job breaking it once again, and now they can set up and again play for the final shot with just a 1-second differential. Jones up top, hounded by Wilkinson.
They do have fouls to give. You don't see college teams do that very much.
Doesn't look like they're going to do it here either with 5 on the shot clock. And Scott passed up a 3. Jones going to have to heave it at the buzzer. Does not go, and that is how the half will come to a close. Nice defensive stop that time by LSU. It'll be a 7-point North Texas lead. He's a sharp dresser,
yes.
AK is. We got the quarter zip rocking tonight between Matt McMahon and Ross Hodge as North Texas will start things up by 7. How about defensively from LSU? What are we looking for?
Well, again, I made the comment in the first half. I thought they were really soft in terms of the way they covered. North Texas got way too many easy three-point looks.
Here's their leading scorer, Edwards, whips it into the wing, and another block. That's Tyrell Ward on that rejection. Jalen Reed had 2 swats in the first half for LSU.
That's maybe the best defensive patience LSU has had in any possession in this game so far.
See where the offense goes. It goes to Jordan Wright, just like we requested, and there's a foul.
Goodness.
A late whistle. Jordan Wright looking over at the officials and kind of saying, hey guys, we've got to call some of these fouls.
Yeah, this is what Jordan Wright does best. Get himself to the free throw line. He's been there 181 times on the season, playing in his 157th game, but he's not even close to playing the most games in this game because Robert Allen for North Texas today is playing in his 167th game.
That is amazing when you think about it. You know, you average 31, 32 games a season. So I mean, that takes a good 6 years to get to that mark. You were asking Robert Allen, do you remember your first game? And he looked at us like heck no. Not a clue.
It was really funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan Wright, who's got a dog Baloo who we all are dog lovers, or well, many of us are. I don't know about you, Mark. You seem like a cat person to me. But Baloo is watching tonight on TV while he's playing and working hard for LSU. That'll be a foul down low against Baker.
But again, Mike, it's a loose ball situation that LSU just doesn't gather. Sissoko kind of fumbled the first pass. The ball went on the deck. Nobody got it. So Sissoko ends up back with the ball into the free throw line. Now this is a big adventure for him because he's 50% on the season.
Softball right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Florida hosting Kentucky in the first game of their 3-game series in Gainesville. Coverage beginning Friday night at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Sissoko says, I got 2 for you, Mark Wise.
Yes, he did.
Feathery touch from the charity stripe for the 6'9" forward. Back to a 7-point lead.
Yeah, Sissoko is denying Baker the ball for ball reversal. That really slows down the attack.
Right, posting up. He's on a smaller guard in Bugs. They can't find him. Now Baker launches his first three. He can hit it. The big man always reliable from downtown. It's a big part of LSU's offense.
Yeah, 35% on the year, but he has really struggled lately scoring.
The lead is trimmed to 4. Off balance shot, no. Fountain brings down the rebound for LSU. Here comes Wright. Oh, the defense by North Texas, at times it feels like they've got 6 on the floor. What did Coach McMahon describe their backline guy? A goalie is what they call him.
Said you can beat one guy, but the next guy is ready to attack from a defensive perspective. Speaking of attacking.
That's a great attack by Jason Edwards. He can score in a myriad of ways. The former junior college All-American, 5 30-point games this season.
And like most great scoring guards, knows how to play at different speeds.
Ward, been rather quiet. Baker trying to make some noise again. Off the top of the backboard, that's still in play, and that's a stick back for Jordan Wright.
Fortunate break for LSU, mistimed jump by the Mean Green.
Into the corner, Bugs on a 3. That's his shot. You cannot leave. 0-0 in black open. 47%. That was first in the American this year. Hannibal muscling his way inside and off the magic square.
But I like the early attack offensively. Try to score before the defense gets set for LSU.
North Texas 7 for 16 from downtown. Reminder, the experimental rules, it'll be an under 17 timeout the first break. We are in a break zone here.
Same play.
Same shot, but a different result that time. And knocked out of bounds. It will remain North Texas basketball when we come back. 16-11 to go. It's North Texas up by 5. Team again that upset Purdue. The other is part of that NIT championship a year ago. And they are healthy for one of the rare times this year. Coach Ross Hodge has his full complement of players. Ball comes into Edwards.
Here's this matchup again.
Beautiful move by Edwards. Boy, is he nifty.
I thought the help defender came over way too early.
First team all conferences Edwards, averaging over 19 points a game. Dean left alone for 3.
Yes, sir.
Dean doesn't shoot many of them, but he's now 4 for 6 on the year.
Do you think he needs his number called more?
Maybe so. I mean, you're hitting 67%. Might want to dial him up a little bit more.
We've had LSU several times down the stretch this year. Hunter Dean has been a completely different player in the last 5 or 6 games.
Absolutely. 3 on the other end, and there's a response. If you leave Aaron Scott open, he's going to fire it up.
Again, that's just too soft. Not there on the catch. It's not an aggressive closeout. Jones cashes in. He's over 40% on the year. Now, I said Jones, and I meant Scott, who's 39% on the year. Thank you for that correction.
Meanwhile, another turnover on LSU. That's 7 now on the Tigers. 15 minutes to play in this second half. LSU and North Texas trying to advance to the second round of the NIT. Again, we start with 32 teams. Somebody will be part of the round of 16. Great ball movement, sets up another open three, and another delivered. That is 9 threes connected so far tonight by the Mean Green.
That's just beautiful basketball, yes, because it's taking the ball. One of the cornerstones of having a good offensive possession is ball reversal.
A 10-point lead. LSU had it down to 4. Hannibal, beautiful spin, and just attacks ferociously right to the glass. And then quickly on the other end, I thought this was going to be a slow-paced North Texas team. Another three, another make. Reuben Jones from downtown.
It's the extra possession. Scott makes a three, Jones makes a three. Jones is 40% on the year from deep.
10 threes for North Texas. 50% from behind the arc.
Mike, that's the 13th time this year they've made 10 or more.
Dean on another. That one spins out. Now North Texas on the attack.
Watch out.
No numbers, doesn't matter. Quickness advantage goes to Jason Edwards on Hunter Dean.
That's just playing at a different speed. Great explosion by Jason Edwards.
13 points for Edwards, largest lead now for North Texas. A 13-point advantage and another turnover. On the attack, Hannibal knocks it out of bounds. It will be North. He eventually became the head coach here in Baton Rouge. Coached one Ben Simmons, amongst others. And now he is at Texas Southern still coaching. And Johnny Jones, the link between North Texas and LSU basketball.
And you and I have done a number of games, regardless of what stop Johnny Jones was in. Always a gentleman, always forthcoming. And Matt McMahon built out the same mode.
No question. And I think it's worth repeating. There's been a lot of coaches in the SEC this year enjoying success in their second year. This is Matt McMahon's second year at LSU. Lamont Paris, South Carolina. Todd Golden, Florida. Chris Jans, Mississippi State. The 3 or the 4 jobs, not analogous at all. When he took this job 22 months ago, not only did LSU not have a coach, they had no players. They had an NCAA investigation. There was a lot of stuff going on in Baton Rouge. And Matt McMahon was very upfront with us that a lot of people told him, you might not want to take that job right now. He accepted the challenge, and he clearly has this program on the right track. His Tigers are on the wrong track in this ball game, however, as another turnover means trouble trying to guard this electric North Texas offense tonight that already has 4 players in double figures.
Boy, the ball was hopping, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Now they cough it back up. Nolan turns it over. Hannibal on the attack. Hannibal can't finish. Hannibal gets it back. How about a third time? 4th tap is no good. LSU with an empty trip despite a load of opportunities.
I think Hannibal's got a loose shoelace. He's trying to tuck it in.
He sure does on his right foot. Nolan backing in. And then throws it off an LSU player out of bounds with 8 on the shot clock. There's the shoelace.
Yeah, it gives him a chance to tie it back up.
Well, when you are as powerful a player with quick stops as Trey Hannibal possesses, you need those puppies tied up tight. There's a lot of torque on those ankles with the way he moves. Shot clock now at 2. And a great job defensively by Wilkinson on the steal.
Back-to-back turnovers by Nolan.
LSU's got to cash in at some point.
Oh, they're not seeing Dean when he flashes after screening. Isolation.
Hannibal, great double pump, and that one pops out. Couple of bunnies for Hannibal do not fall, and it's still a 14-point lead for North Texas. Our next break will be at the under 11 media timeout. Again, the experimental clock here in the second half with no floater break.
Coach, you don't understand what a foul is. You don't understand what a foul is.
Hannibal's had several really tough balls fall out in terms of the last 3 possessions. He's getting to the rim. He's just not cashing in.
Well, in the last 5 possessions, to your point, LSU is 0 for 5 with 2 turnovers. Under 10 on the shot clock. Jones. Inside it comes to Allen. 2 to shoot. 3 on the way. No, and there's Wright. Top floor for the rebound. LSU has got to get something going offensively. Strong take, and another one that is close range, hits the iron, but does not drop. That time in the miss by Mike Williams.
Doesn't show up in a stat sheet, but that's the beauty of Robert Allen for this North Texas team.
When he's not blocking shots, he's altering them. Great back line defender.
This is not a team you want to trail in the last 10 minutes of a game.
No, because they know how to bleed clock as much as anybody. And another offensive rebound leads to a 3, and that one stings. Rondell Walker, who only averages 4 points a game, and that puts an exclamation point on a 15-2 run.
If this were a hockey game, we would be talking about Robert Allen getting a hockey assist, though, keeping the ball alive.
Boy, did LSU need that 3 by Wilkinson. Stop the bleeding.
It really won't matter if LSU cannot come up with some stops.
Yes. Stops that would include rebounding. A circus shot and a foul. Reuben Jones with his back to the basket gets the contact and the whistle. And that'll bring us to the under 11 media timeout. This entire North Texas team has shot the 3 well. If I would have told you, Mark Wise, at the beginning of the night, that North Texas, with 10 minutes to play, would already have 10 offensive rebounds, what would you have said to me besides the usual, Mike, you're crazy and clearly you need to get off the medicine?
Well, I know it's only been 2 days, but I am pretty sure the North Texas staff drilled into their players every opportunity that they had. That the first meeting against LSU dominated down in that high rent district. They were plus 26 in points in the paint. They have certainly corrected that in this game.
That is a classic case of Sissoko playing the goalie role.
Yes.
Forcing that turnover. Drop coverage, and Jordan Wright thought he had his man beat. Ran into Sissoko. And for LSU now, that's 9 turnovers. Battle for the rebound, and the foul will go against LSU.
Yeah, I think this is on Hunter Dean, who kind of took out Sissoko under the rim, blocking out. But again, I just feel like what North Texas is doing on the offensive end, they are getting the shot they want.
Right.
But LSU is being dictated by the North Texas defense.
Certainly has been the story all game. Sissoko inside. There's Dean with a block. Sissoko gets it back. Sissoko fires it up and misses. And Fountain tears it away. LSU down by 16. Right. Drive and kick. Ward's been quiet. He'll remain quiet as that one spins out.
I love the play, though. That's a great action and a great decision by Wright. You can live with that missed shot.
North Texas's defense, which has been so stout over the last 3 years, top 15. They had back-to-back years where they were number 1 in the country in defensive efficiency.
Here's another play. North Texas ends up with the scrum.
And now a chance to bleed a little clock, and you know North Texas knows how to do this. Almost a steal by Wilkinson. And then a beautiful dime drop to a wide open Aaron Scott.
Yeah, Ward just turned his head defensively. Great recognition.
Where are the points going to come by now for LSU? It would be the top candidate, Jordan Wright. He needs to heat up in a hurry.
Yeah, I think every possession, you mentioned this in the first half, I think every possession, Jordan Wright needs a touch for this team. Just not once in a while, every possession.
He's the best bet on the offensive end, particularly with Hannibal on the bench right now. Here's Jones with 5 to shoot.
A lot of dribbling.
Ton of dribbling. Step back 3 on the way by Buggs. Grazes the iron, hauled in that time by Tyrell Ward. Wright killed his dribble.
Again, the gap help is so good.
Back-to-back buckets by Jordan Wright. I think that's what everybody in the PMAC dressed in purple and gold has been waiting for, and a timeout called by Colorado State, Arkansas State, and then an assistant under Grant McCaslin, who's now done a great job at Texas Tech. They're in the NCAA tournament. He was nicknamed the mastermind of Grant McCaslin's defense, and they have played some terrific defense in this game tonight.
When I saw that graphic, you know what comes to mind for me? That's a lot of U-Hauls.
Yes, it is.
That's a lot of moving.
A lot of trailer hitches, a lot of U-Hauls, a lot of moving companies. Broken China, the whole 9 yards.
I like the fact that LSU went down the floor with a hard press, almost got the turnover.
They have trailed by as many as 19. There's a 12-point advantage right now for the Mean Green. Shot clock again, late clock, and that is what they do. They wind it down as much as any team in the country and then try to get a bucket late.
And that's what Nolan can do with his physicality at 6'4", 215 pounds.
Foul on the perimeter, Wilkinson.
Yeah, I think he was on the sideline.
Yep,
yes,
sure did.
Take another look, the inside out. Here's Nolan. Just kind of powers his way into the paint and scores off 2 feet, challenges the defender. That's what big guards can do that little guards cannot.
Great hands by Jordan Wright, forcing the turnover, and then a mad scrum. Ward gets it, draws the foul. Now Jordan Wright is the reason why LSU will have a trip to the free throw line here.
Mike, if I think LSU has a shot, it's because they need to make the game chaotic.
Yes.
North Texas, especially on the offensive end, they're a connect-the-dot team. They're very organized. I think LSU would be better served to make this game completely chaotic in the last 6.5.
Well, I'm with you. North Texas has become very comfortable in this ball game. Look at this pinball action.
Yes.
Who wants it more?
Yeah. And then finally the foul, and Ward goes to the free throw line.
I know for a lot of people tuning in right now, maybe they ask the question to go back to our original premise. Who's motivated, who's not? Sometimes that is a question in the NIT. This is not a case of LSU not being motivated. This is a case of North Texas just being better in this ball game. A foul on Wilkinson.
This is how you beat pressure, though. You keep the ball off the deck. Watch this full court pressure, the moving the ball ahead. Here's Nolan, who attacks the rim. The defender doesn't come over on the 2-on-1. He makes the smart decision. But that press attack was beautiful because they kept the ball off the deck.
Nolan, a former ESPN top 100 recruit, started his career at Oklahoma. Had a career-high 23 last Thursday against Tulane in the AAC tournament. The SEC Gymnastics Championship is Saturday right here on the SEC Network. The first session beginning at 3:30 Eastern Time with Arkansas, Mizzou, Auburn, and Georgia. Then at 8, a champion will be crowned in the second session. LSU, Florida, Kentucky, and Alabama competing for the title. Back to a 14-point cushion for the Mean Green. Texas's defense just chokes the oxygen out of you.
No, he's feeling it now.
Yep. Jordan Wright's on a heater. He's now up to a game-high 19 points.
Let's see if they can set a trap somewhere. Here it comes on the sideline. That's a good job by Nolan getting the ball, rid of the ball at the correct time. Now, in their last 3 possessions, North Texas, it's the first time all night they have taken the clock under 10. They're more comfortable than most in doing this late in a game.
This is what they do on average, and they get buckets late. That is an absolute gut punch. You milk the clock, and then you get an easy layup by Robert Allen.
Frame that possession. Title it, North Texas offense.
Matt McMahon was telling us on average they take 20 seconds off the clock every possession. Fountain, not exactly his range, and deflected out of bounds to North Texas.
Let's go to this last possession, the pick and roll action. Nice job by Robert Allen with a little simple ball fake. Gets right to leave the floor. Easy deuce for them.
You know, you bring up such a great point because a lot of teams that play fast, they don't know how to protect the lead. They don't know how to slow it down, but this is what North Texas does on the regular.
Normally, I would say in a game, there are way too many possessions to play that way. But this is North Texas. This is their gig.
Well, and when you get 11 threes and some offensive rebounds, that's going to be a goaltend on Fountain. And every time you think a run might be coming for LSU, North Texas has an answer.
Again, the Mean Green have done a good job protecting the ball, getting the kind of shots that they want to get. Once that ball hits the glass, that's a no-no.
Jordan Wright has 12 points in the second half. You get the feeling he's going to need at least 12 more for LSU to mount a comeback here. Passed up the 3, and then Fountain turns it over.
That's just dribbling into trouble. I don't know what you're seeing there. The defender's sitting there in the gap.
Not the option you want if you're LSU. Derek Fountain putting the ball on the deck. Again, shot clock under 10 for North Texas. Now at 5.
So nice. Well, that was a pretty possession, though.
Got the look they wanted from Edwards. Fountain, drive and kick to Dean, who thunders one home. 14-point game, under 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, does LSU have enough gas to double team? I think you've got to run 2 at the ball now, don't you?
I would say so, yes.
They're going to have to make the game chaotic. I would double team everywhere. And if you end up getting beat by 25, so be it.
Right.
I say that. Do you know how many coaches are willing to do this? Well, here's what I'm talking about. Perfect.
There's the pressure, and it causes the turnover. Now Hannibal almost gave it right back. Sets up right on a step-in 3. Got it. 74-63.
Well, that was almost scripted, as we talked about. Double team. Yes, Nolan's got to be careful. He wants to catch and dribble. Just catch and look ahead.
Hunter Dean almost on a grab at that point. If he doesn't commit the foul, there's probably an easy layup on the other end. It's the 7th team foul, so a 1-and-1 upcoming for the Mean Green. And this will be Nolan, the free throw shooter. He's at 68% on the year. The former Oklahoma Sooner. There's one of those injured players, missed 5 games with a groin injury. They were the walking wounded for much of the season. But when they are healthy, they remind you why they've been so successful the last few years, including an NIT championship a year ago.
Here's an example of the wider lane. Look at how further out each row of players now has to stand in terms of this NIT experimental rule.
Can you think of any reason why we wouldn't want this?
No.
It seems to me like, much like the restricted arc, the 30-second shot clock, the extended three-point line, all these things we've seen in the NIT, they've all come to fruition, and I think have made the game better. That'll make LSU's chances better. A Jordan Wright and 1.
Well, after you make a couple of threes, guess what? You can do a ball fake. Watch right here on the handoff. He's going to do just a little fake right there. Splits defenders, protects the basketball, That's a silly foul by the Mean Green. One of the few mistakes they've made on the defensive end tonight.
Now this could make it a 10-point game. 4th foul on Robert Allen. And he gets a friendly bounce.
This is not over.
Not at all. We'll see if the full court pressure can cause a little more havoc.
See, they've got, North Texas has got all 4 players in the backcourt. I'm not a fan of that. You need to send somebody long.
They get it into the front court. Nolan one-on-one on Dean. Takes it right at him.
He just pushed Dean out of the way. Nolan with that physicality.
Ward on a 3. Not been his night. Hannibal crashing. Hannibal firing and drawing the foul.
It's a quick 3, but Ward is LSU's best 3-point shooter. And Hannibal might be LSU's best rebounder. Watch as Hannibal just goes in and gets after it on the offensive glass. I often talk about, if you want to be a good offensive rebounder, put your camera down and get in the picture. You can't take the picture.
He has been in the picture for the last month. He's played the best basketball of his 5-year career, spanning 3 different schools, including 2 years now at LSU. 5th foul on Allen, so he will exit stage right, and they'll lose one of their top rim protectors. Still have Sissoko if North Texas to grind out that shot clock and take 25 to 30 seconds off on each and every possession. What's the verdict
So
here?
we had a foul correction.
Okay.
The 4th foul on Robert Allen actually was not. So that's the reason why he was stayed in the game. It accidentally went to a different player.
So he will remain in the game. Obviously good news for North Texas as Hannibal flips the first one in.
That's a good catch by somebody on the North Texas staff,
Yes.
I promise you.
For sure. Now, LSU does have a monster comeback this year. They were down 16 in the second half at South Carolina, came back and won the game on the road.
Big comeback against Florida on
right.
the road.
Of course, beat Kentucky on a buzzer beater. They've got some landmark wins, but they want to pick a win up here in the NIT and advance to the second round.
See, I think you got to double team any dribble handoff, any pick and roll. North Texas does a nice job staying spread. Now you don't want to foul. He can shoot this.
Edwards. He is wired to shoot it here. Oh, and a reach-in foul on Jalen Reed. And Matt McMahon is out at midcourt saying, you have swallowed the whistle for the better part of 40 minutes, and you're going to call that nickel dimer. And that was with the shot clock down to about 2 seconds.
Take another look. Does Reed catch the arm late? Edwards spins. Yeah, it's a foul. Don't reach in.
Yeah, didn't need to.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a foul, but it is a foul.
Right.
Now, I think everything LSU should do offensively from this point on is dictated by what North Texas does at the line. So if they miss one, which they can have already done, then you can come down and get a 2.
Right. And he misses both, an empty trip.
I'd have Wright drive the ball.
Dean passed up the 3. Ward will not. Pulls the trigger and hits.
Watch
7-point game. More full court pressure from LSU. They will break the timeline with a couple of seconds to spare. Almost a travel. There is the call. A late whistle, but LSU will gladly take it.
Now, what you don't want to do if you're LSU is take a bad 3. Any score here is good.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see a high ball screen for Wright and play off of him.
Wright will take it on the inbounds. Quickly give it up to Hannibal. Wright wants it. Calls for it. Gets it. Drives the baseline and a whistle.
I think this is off the ball.
Yeah.
I think this is Edwards running through a screen, but North Texas has fouls to give.
That was called, called by the trail official. That is only 5 team fouls on the Mean Green. So you still have 1 to give if you're North Texas. A 3 here would make it a 4-point game. A 2 would make it 5. LSU was trailed by as many as 19. Dean inside, squares and fires. Took it right over John Buggs.
Smart play. You didn't have to have a 3.
A 15-4 run now by LSU. Under 90 seconds to go. Do you think about fouling?
I wouldn't, but I would double team. You've got to force the issue here. The clock is your enemy if you're LSU.
LSU's going to play it out. Edwards, deliberate dribble with 5. Now gets a hedge out from Dean. 3 to shoot. Edwards in. Lays it off, and a beautiful feed to Robert Allen on the slam.
Just a great play by Jason Edwards.
Right, down low. Inside, 2-hand stuff, and a quick timeout. Reed on the dunk. Coach McMahon on the TO. It's a 5-point game with 50.8 remaining.
Action
there was in college basketball. They've been healthy of late. They're healthy for another NIT run, trying to defend their NIT championship. Here comes the pressure from LSU. Almost a turnover and steal by Hannibal. It hits the bottom of the backboard, and they will say North Texas ball. They will likely go to the monitor here. Under 2 minutes remaining in regulation, so we've got review potential, and that's where Michael Wallace, Robert Felder, and Chase Shaw will find themselves. No angles that would have changed anything.
Well, I'll tell you what does change now. North Texas cannot run the baseline now on this inbound.
Right.
So this is a stationary spot.
Mean Green have been nearly flawless with the basketball in the second half. Having trouble getting it in. It does come in, and a foul called. LSU wanted a walk on Jason Edwards. Might have dragged that pivot foot, but even if he did the foul come first? It goes against Jordan Wright. That's his 3rd.
Take another look. My first thought was this is a foul on the reach in. See? Yeah, he's on his arm. That's a foul. He doesn't have any part of the ball. This is a good call, but it's only team foul number 9, so we're going to do the bonus one more time. And remember, Edwards missed one the last time. Now
He missed 2.
That's correct. He missed 2.
And he missed 3 in a row.
Doesn't have to be a 3 now because of that very fact.
Plenty of time. 5-point game. Ward, quick trigger on the 3. Back iron. Now you got a foul. You got to have the contact, and you foul the guy who has missed 3 in a row, in Jason Edwards.
I mean, I know Ward is your best 3-point shooter, but I just think that's a rushed look. It's with pressure.
And you've got Jordan Wright red hot in the second half, and you got Hannibal, who's almost impossible to prevent from going to the rim.
And you did not have to have a 3 there.
I totally agree.
A 2 gets it back to a 1-possession game.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit of a rush shot as well. Let's see how costly it becomes with 31 seconds remaining. Edwards finally knocks down a free throw. I mean, he's 82% on the year. I don't think he's missed 3 in a row in his life.
But you cannot simulate this kind of pressure in practice. He'll make this one because now he's got the rhythm.
And the lead swells to 7 for the Mean Green.
I think LSU has to have a 3 now. You cannot trade. There's not enough time to start trading 2 for 2.
You really only have 2 good candidates. That would be Ward and this guy, Jordan Wright. Wright measuring, defers to Reed. Reed will glide his way to the basket. They'll take a 2. 82-77. Inbounds. Oh, that's Hannibal just took a shot in the face. And Matt McMahon saying we got to get a replay on that, as that's contact to the head. Bonus the rest of the way for North Texas, as Aaron Scott will toe the line, an 81% free throw shooter. It's his first trip of the line tonight.
Wow.
I mean, North Texas is leaving the door open for LSU.
Somehow, if I'm LSU, you got to get this to a 1-possession game with some kind of time on the clock. Wow, he missed that.
2 bricks. LSU does have 1 timeout remaining.
Drive it.
Here comes Wright downhill. No, he's going to pull up for 3. Missed everything. And that could be the dagger. I thought for sure Jordan Wright was just going to take it right to the basket.
Right.
That would have made it a 1-possession game. Well, now if you're North Texas, barring turnovers and a flurry of missed free throws, won't get the foul call. And now a timeout is called by Ross Hodge at North Texas. And what a win this would be.
Yep.
Clearly more juice than others. Both these teams, as we mentioned from the top on, very motivated. North Texas trying to defend a title. I mean, what does it say about this North Texas team to come in here and be on the verge of another win? No foul called. Leads to an easy stuff for Noland, and North Texas will win another NIT game. 1 step closer to defending their NIT championship from a year ago. On the road in Baton Rouge, the Mean Green win it 84-77.